Hey world, my name is Sheila. Welcome into my little cross-stitch corner of the internet where I show what I'm doing, what I'm working on, what I plan on working on, other hobbies like crochet or sometimes watercolor or sewing. So whatever tickles my fancy, I'll show it, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rambling that I do. I know a lot of you guys are like, we like the rambling, we get to know you. And then some people don't. They just want the meat and potatoes of the cross-stitch stuff and move on. So the nice thing about YouTube is the little fast forward button to go fast over when people are rambling and talking on and you're like, I'm not interested in that. And you're like, move fast and then get to the good stuff. Or if you just are bored and need a companion to listen to while you're sitting and stitch, then I'm your gal. So again, my name is Sheila. If I didn't say that, I go by the Crow River Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram by the same handle. And then I have an Etsy store that I sell project bags, and that's called She's So Sassy, which I am back into my shop working, and hopefully by the end of the week, early next week, I'll have some inventory finally. If you guys haven't been around, or if you're new, I had surgery exactly 6 weeks ago yesterday, and it was a hysterectomy, which it's a 6-week recovery that you can't do anything over 15 pounds, and pushing down on that rotary through layers of batting and fabric and zippers, it was just too much for the little abdomen work that they did. So I'm finally feeling strong enough, and the 6 weeks is up, and so I'm excited to get back to normal life, as normal as possible. So all right, because life's never really that normal. All right, fully finished objects. I have 3. I only have 1 to show you because the other 2 are gifts that I gave this last weekend. So I'll show you this first one that I have on me, and it is Pretty Polly by Hands Across the Seas Samplers, and it's a freebie over on their website. So Pretty Polly, I just did this on the Joann fabrics that I like doing, like simple things, quick things. It's in their linen section, like apparel section, and it's called like linen viscose. It's like a mix, and the holes are slightly different than regular linen. They remind me of like a number 5 on a die, like dice die. And so you see the 2 little holes, one in the middle. And so once you get the hang of it, it's really easy. And it works up to about a 40-ish count, maybe 41, 42, depending. Sometimes I hand dye these and then dry them, and then it gets even smaller. So if you don't mind working on small, then it might be something to try. So it's in the apparel section, and Joann Fabrics. So Pretty Polly. I finished her a couple of months ago, but I just didn't know how I wanted to finish her. And I found these boards. They're like, it feels like cork, like super light, like cork. It's not, I don't think it's cork. It's probably just press board somehow, but they fit a perfect like hoop. So on the back, I just finished it in a hoop and then glued down the edges and then stuck some felt on top and glued that. And then I glued the hoop to the frame. And so then you can just use this little thing as a nail hole here and hang on your wall. And I got it off Amazon. I'll show you. It came in a box with a set of 3. And if I can remember the link, I will link where I got it. So it just came with 3 of them, and it comes with like 3M tape and sticky and stuff to you know, like if you want to mount it differently or do stuff. I didn't even really check out what they have, but they have like, you know, some mounting stuff that you could stick to it, and clips and screws, and I don't know, maybe to hang. They just gave you stuff to, if you want to try mounting it differently. So they're just lightweight. They're pretty inexpensive. I want to say maybe like $8 for the 3 of them or something. And yeah, and you could paint them. Like if you want to change up the colors, you could spray paint them or paint them something different. But I think I was like, oh, those look interesting. I'll just give them a try. They have some really nice ones on Etsy that where let me set that down. Where the whole frame, this like cheapy, like I just got the cheap ones so I don't, you know, feel bad never being able to use them again. They're just, you can get them at Joann's like half off, or Hobby Lobby, the little hoops. But the really nice ones on Etsy, they're a lot more expensive, but I think they're recessed in and maybe a little chunkier frames. This is, boy, pretty, what is it? 1/4 inch, probably 1/4 inch, somewhere in there, 3/8 quarter. So yeah, I could have went a little smaller on the hoop, but I don't mind all the extra margin. It works. It works. And then the next 2 fully finishes, I will insert a picture somewhere, that I did for my 2 sisters. They both got new campers, RVs this year, and I had seen this Happy Camper at Hobby Lobby, and it comes with like an Ada in a like a banner where you could hang it. And I mean, I could probably use this or something, so I'm saving it, but I just decided to do it on some regular fabric and then made them into little pillows that they can put in their camper. So it said Happy Camper on it, and I just put their names, like their last name and camper, and I chose colors that they love. So my sister Sherry loves yellow, so I did hers in yellow, and my other sister likes blues, so I kept it like this with the blues, the exact floss. And it comes with floss and everything in the little chart, and with a pom-pom. And so I gave it to them this weekend, and they both loved them. And yeah, so those are my 3 fully finishes. So all right, here's a little story. You guys can fast forward through me, but some people might find it really interesting because it's really crazy. It's a crazy story. So so my mom and dad had my sister and me, and that's how I grew up. Just me, my sister, and then my mom had a son that's 10 years older than me, and my grandparents raised him. So I knew I had a half brother, but we only saw him on like Easter, Christmas, holidays, birthdays, because he lived about 3.5, 4 hours up north. So we didn't see him very often. So I grew up as the oldest child and a younger sister. And that was life. My dad died about 12 years ago. My mom died 5, 6 years ago now. So about, I think 7 years ago, I invited my dad's side of the family from South Dakota to my house for Easter. And my dad had been gone for a few years by then. And my mom was really sick with cancer, and she didn't come. My parents were divorced, so she didn't really hang out with that side of the family. So my uncle, my dad's brother, was here for Easter along with aunts and grandparents, and he pulled my husband aside and told him that my mom and dad, when they first started dating, got pregnant and gave a little girl up for adoption. And then, of course, my husband told me, and my uncle's like, you could tell your wife if you want or not, but I had promised her father I wouldn't say anything, but he's gone, and your mom is, dying of cancer, and I just want you girls to know, I want the girls to know that they have a sister out there. So of course my husband told me, and I was like, what? And ran and told my sister, and we both were like, ooh, is this true? Yeah, my uncle wouldn't make something up, but we were shocked. We were shocked that my mom and dad had a little girl that they gave up for adoption. So we were like, do we confront my mom and ask her, or do we just let it go? And because she was dying of cancer, like she only had a few months left, like she was coming to her end. We didn't want to stress her out, but then we were like, well, once she's gone, we're not going to know any details. And I, like, curious, I wanted to know. And so my sister and I showed up on her doorstep and walked in, and my mom like had this look like, oh crap. And we sat down and said, Mom, this is what happened. Uncle, told us the story. Is it true? And my mom was quiet for a few minutes, and I'm thinking, is she gonna lie? Is she gonna come clean? And she said, yeah, it's true. And we're like, okay, do you have any details? Like when, what year? Was it a girl, like he said? And she was really vague and said, I don't really remember. It's a long time ago. And she didn't want to talk about it, obviously. And she just said, yeah, it was a little girl. I named her Diane and gave her up for adoption. And that was about all the information she told us, that she had her in Minneapolis. And so we just kind of let it go. And we asked if we could like search for her. And my mom didn't want anything to do with it. She wouldn't sign any papers or anything. So I had sent in DNA through Ancestry.com. And I wanted to put my DNA out there in case she had put hers out there so we could find her. And nothing for years, like 5-6 years, nothing, no hits, nothing. So I was kind of like feeling a little discouraged, and my mom had died, and we were like, well, if we find her, we find her. If not, well, so January of this last year, I got a hit on Ancestry, and I got a email saying you have a match, and it was a half match, like 50-some%. And I'm thinking, well, if she was a full sister, wouldn't she be more than 50%? I'm like, well, maybe my mom was, messing around with a couple guys and it wasn't my dad's. So I messaged her, or she messaged me. I can't remember who messaged first, and said, oh, we think we're sisters. And so then she's like, I was born in 1964. I was like, and so I thought it was the sister. And then she's like, I was born in 1964. And I'm like, well, that's weird because my mom thought it was like 66, or my uncle said it was 66. So that's 2 years off. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, maybe they're wrong. Maybe the date's wrong. So, we're messing each other, trying to get to know each other. And she said that she's my it looks like half sister. And because her ancestry didn't show the same ancestry of the dad. And I'm like, okay. And then she dropped a bomb. She said, I met your mom in 1980s. Your mother has a half. She has a son. I have a half brother out there that we were both searching for her at the same time in the 80s. And we met her one time, and your mom didn't want a relationship. She said that she had a family and had 2 girls, and the girls didn't know anything about you guys, this boy and this girl. And the girl was born in 64, the boy was in 65. And so I was flabbergasted. I'm like, okay. But then my uncle, who has a memory like you wouldn't believe, said 66. I'm like, and said there was these 2 a girl. I'm like, well, then it just doesn't add up that my mom would have a girl and a boy after my dad, because they were dating and then they kind of broke up, but then they got married in 69. So I'm like, the math isn't working. And so I'm like, is there another girl out there? There must be another girl. The one that we were both thinking that was full blood. So my mom had a boy in 62, which is my brother. And then she, in 64 and 65, in August of the same, following year, she had a boy and a girl that she gave up for adoption. And then in 66, we were thinking she had another girl that she gave up for adoption. So in 3 years, she had 3 babies. Oh, she was a busy lady. And if you knew my mom, you would have never suspected. She was just this quiet, shy, proper lady. Like, whoa, there was a side of my mom that I had no idea about. Like, I so many questions, and she's gone, and we can't ask them. So in July of this year, Minnesota opened records for adoption. And so anyone who was adopted could write in, get their birth certificate. They opened them all. So end of July, all of a sudden I get a message on Facebook, and it shows a birth certificate with the name Diane, and I saw my mom's signature, which, you know, your parents' signature looks the same. It was like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the sister. This is the full-blooded sister that my uncle told me about. And so we got to know each other a little bit, messaged. And so this past weekend we had a first meeting, my sister and my new sister, and that's who I made the pillow for, because we all 3 have campers, and those 2 just got new campers. So I made a pillow for her to bring for the first meeting. So long story, that was who the one pillow is for. And I have a brand new full-blood sister, and we've been exchanging photos throughout the years, like her baby pictures and her teenage pictures, and her and I looked so much alike. I'm like, didn't need a DNA, anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so it's crazy. Been crazy that this year I found out I have 3 siblings. And yeah, and so I've talked to the other sister, the first sister. We messaged, and we want to get together. She lives up north about 3 hours, so it's not convenient. This sister that I just met lives right in the metro area here in Minneapolis. So yeah, my sister and I went to her house, and this necklace is so sweet. She bought all 3 of us, her, my sister, and I, these necklaces, and it's a compass, and it has KSS in it for our initials. So she gave them to us, and I treasure it. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm so excited for what the future has to hold, this new sister of mine that, yeah. I'll insert a couple pictures of her and I, like around the same age, and then our recent most picture that we got together. And yeah, the eyes, the nose, her and I both have this little chubby nose and skin and these chubby cheeks and freckles, and both had strawberry blonde hair growing up. And yeah, crazy. Do you guys have any weird skeletons in your closet like that? Like, I would love to know. I love hearing these like birth stories. And I always thought, oh, that'd be so cool, or that'd be weird, and now I'm one of them. Like, oh my gosh. So, all right. Thank you for letting me share that story. And then super sad. So we met on Saturday, and Monday, I got a message from I had met through the DNA, my half brother, his daughter, who she didn't know her dad, like she was searching her dad out. And so my niece, she'd be my niece, messaged me. We messaged a couple times on Ancestry, and then she sent me a message that he had just died on October 10th. So that was really sad. I didn't know him. I hadn't met him, but I really would have liked to meet him, but he's gone. So my half brother, he was only 59. He died of pancreatic cancer. And so yeah, that was really sad. It was like the day after I met my sister. I'm like, oh, now I will never meet my half brother. But yeah, it's crazy. 2024 has been one of the craziest years. Then along with all this cancer crap of mine, like I'm ready to move into 2025. So, all right, back to stitching. What I worked on. I pulled out the Ravens by Millhouse Buttons and Beads, and I worked just a little tiny bit on this. You have to kind of really put a thing behind, but it's on perforated paper, and I just worked, I think I did that line and filled in some of this fence, and that is all I have done. Working off the pattern is tricky. It's like small and you gotta look close, and then you're like, oh, is that a bead or is that floss? And trying to, like, it's confusing. The button and beads are a little that tricky, well, trickier, harder to just, because the floss, you have to guess at the colors of the floss because they're not labeled. They just all come in a big, you know, pack. And then same with the beads aren't labeled. So when I do get to the beads, I'm gonna like, okay, is that, it looks like this orange bead or brown bead, or so you have to do a little sleuthing and guesswork, and the small print on the pattern. So it's slow, but I really am super excited to get to the beads on here and get this done. It's not going to be done, obvious. Today is what, October 30th, the end of the month. So it's not done by Halloween. I thought I'd be able to get it done when I had started a few months ago, but no. All right. The next one I worked on, I didn't take it out of the plastic, but it's Heartstring Samplery Scenic Sampler. And I started this one in April, and if this is on 40 count Fabrics by Stephanie Colonial Parchment, which I love this fabric. So pretty. The modeling, it's just really warm and pretty fabric, very pretty. And here I am. So I just worked on filling in more of this house down here, and I'm working down the grass. I worked on this little leaf here. Time consuming because it's so much fill-in. So you feel like you didn't get very far. And I spent, I think, a whole night and maybe a half a night working on this. Also watching TV with my daughter. We started, well, she's watched Stranger Things a few times, but I've never seen Stranger Things, and she wanted to rewatch it. And I'm like, oh, I'll sit in with you and watch it. So half watching, half stitching, and that does slow you down when you're trying to do two things at once. But yeah, really pretty. This is a pretty sampler, and I'm excited to get down to the grass and the willow tree, and it has a lot of interesting little designs. They've got the butterfly, that wishing well, a little swan, the sheep. It's just cute. It's just a really sweet little chart. All right. The next one I worked on was a start. I believe I hadn't started it yet. I think I started it right after, because I just finished Spooky Notes by Shepherd's Bush, and this is Thankful Notes by Shepherd's Bush. And I am doing this on the called for, which is 32 count antique ivory. And I am doing it the way they call for this time around, that it's just one strand over two on 32 count. And I did put some fabric because this, I cut it down. I had bought like just a small amount and it was half. So I'm like, oh, I'll be able to get another half. So I cut it short, but so I had to put a little fabric to it to get it into my little like frame hoopy thingy. So this is all that I have so far. And I like the coverage on 32 count for this. And it's just one strand. Yeah, it's pretty. It's dainty. It's really sweet and flouncy. Is that the word I want? Yeah. Yeah, that's the word I want. I don't know what word I want. All right. So that's kind of what I'll be working on for November for Thanksgiving. One of the charts for Thanksgiving. Did I start another Thanksgiving one? No, I don't think so. And then, oh, I was going to show bags too. Oops. This bag was for the ravens, Halloween ravens. And I made a small one just because some of your charts that are small and little, you don't need a big honking bag. So I did just a little guy. And actually this fits in here. You got to flip the flap over. But yeah, just pumpkins on the back. And then inside is, oh, just a polka dot. So that was for ravens. And then for scenic sampler, I had this little kitty cat. It says, train your human, world domination. And it's just hot pink, and then these little rainbow kitties with hot pink and then polka dots. So was the scenic sampler. And all right, so now I'm caught up. The next one that you guys will see pretty much every week, and hopefully you won't get tired of it, but it's so beautiful that I think you guys will not get tired of seeing the progress on this. This is my Sunday stitch, my birthday start, Elizabeth Weston, 1830. Yep, 1830. Gorgeous. Gorgeous one. And this one, I got a fair amount on. Well, I don't even need the board because I have it just folded so it would fit, but where am I? All right. I got over a little further and then did some more 1/1, worked on the flower, got the pot in. You can see the cream. It definitely shows up better in person than on screen. I don't know if I can hold it back, if you could see the color. Like, you see the pretty pinky, peachy? This is on 40 count, Picture This Plus truffle. And let's see if we can try to, yeah, it's really pretty peachy pink color. But that cream does show up in person better. And then I've been working on some lettering that's 1/1 there. The big letters are 2/1. Or no, 1/2. There we go. But the small little guys, I'm only doing a half stitch. Is that called a tent stitch? I always thought people were saying 10th stitch, but it's tent as in T-E-N-T. It's like, oh, tent. And so it only, because I'm using the silks, the Soie d'Alger silks, they're thick and puffy, and it would be way too much on 40 count to do a full stitch with 1/1. And it's just beautiful. I'm loving the silks. I had to change out one of the silks. 525 and 526 were almost identical. Like, I can physically not see a difference with my own eyes. There might be like just a hair difference, but it wasn't enough. So 525, I changed out to the DMC equivalent. And so that's this color here. And then the 526 in the Soie d'Alger is that color, like going up to it. So you can definitely see a difference now in there. And then there's one more color. So there's 3 in around the border. So a medium, a light, and a dark. But love this one. So yeah, you guys will see this plenty as long as I get to it every Sunday. But that's my Sunday stitch. And that is in my Sunday stitch bag, which I will be working on getting a few into the shop. Just green background with some purple flowers in there. Alrighty. Next one is Hands Across the Sea, Margaret Beattie. I got a PDF off their website, and started this one, I think I went like April. It's been a while. And I am doing this one on the Joann fabrics that I was talking about. That's the same on Pretty Polly. But Pretty Polly is, they've got a few different colors, and you can see this is kind of they're called white. They call this one white, which is just off-white to me. It's not a bright white. It's like just a soft white. And then this one, I don't know if it was called natural or something, but this one has got a little more beigey to it. So you can see the difference between the two. And then they have like gold and a teal. And so this one is called the white, and the 40 count-ish on Joann Fabrics. And I started on the girl and working on the grass and get to doing the bunny. So this one is a goal for a finish by the end of the year, which I should be able to whip out. It's not that much left. So finish like the double border in there, and then her and some words down there. So yeah, that's very doable by the end of the year. I spend, probably another maybe six long nights on it or something. Absolutely love the color. All DMC. The colors are so beautiful. Oops, sorry about that. So cute. Can't wait to get to the bunnies because I love bunnies. Whew. This sweater is hot. It's warm. It's not, it's chilly out right now. I think it's only like 40, 50 degrees out, but this is a warm sweater. I keep having like hot flashes. My upper lip is sweating. So attractive, isn't it? Like, woo. All right. And this is what Margaret's in. I just picked this little embroidery. I did a little chicken embroidery, like blue work, and then picked some big squares, like some goats and chickens. Actually, this is left over from curtains in my kitchen. I have this little whimsical fabric. It's like, we live on a farm, and so there's me feeding my chickens, and we had goats, we've got cats, and my husband in overalls. I love that fabric. So, and then just some cute little, like, vintagey. I think this was from an old shirt or something. I can't even remember, but yeah. Oh, and these were an old pair of jeans of mine that were ripping. And yeah, I love finding old vintagey clothes or napkins or anything to incorporate into my sewing. One other thing I love is men's cotton shirts. Like, I always, whenever I go to the thrift store, I always go to like 2X and 3X, as big shirts as I can find, because they're priced the same as like a regular shirt usually, but then you get so much more fabric. And then I just kind of seam rip it all, cut them into, big usable chunks, and yeah, that's great. A lot of fun fabrics from men's shirts. All right, next one. Oh, I did have a finish, not a fully finish, but I did do a quick finish. I did a start and a finish. So this was a gift a couple weeks, or last show or the show before episode, that it was Nancy, I believe. Yep, Nancy had sent me this chart, and I couldn't wait to start the kitty. And so I started the kitty and I finished the kitty, which super quick. Yow. And this is on 40 count, the lamb's wool. I think Prairie Schooler uses a lot of lamb's wool, but they usually, I think, call it for 32. And I have a bunch of 40 because I'm doing all the Prairie Schooler months to fit in that calendar. So this is just some leftover that I decided to do 40 count, because my thought process is I'm going to pick 3 more off this chart. I don't know when. I mean, not soon, because this Halloween season is coming to an end, but I'm thinking the pumpkin, the owl, and maybe the witch. I think I'm going to do those 3 more, and have them in just little squares and then do like a patchwork pillow. That is kind of my thought process. I'm not sure how but that I was like, oh, I think that'd be cute to have those and cut them out and do them in a little patchwork pillow. So that is my thought process. So that will be, I don't mind actually working on holiday stuff out of season. If I'm just in the mood to do it, I'll pick up a Halloween thing in July or patriotic in December. Like, it doesn't bother me. I like to work, actually, I kind of seem to work a month ahead of everything. So in like September, I started Halloween things, or October, I started Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, it's just whatever, that's what I'm in the mood for. The next one that I started, because I just finished October, was the Prairie Schooler in November. So every month that comes, I'm going to start the next one and then just keep on working, try to get them finished. If I don't get them finished, start the next one and just keep them going. So by the time the end of next year rolls around, I think I will have all my calendar completely done. And this is also on the 40 count lamb's wool. And that is my start so far. My friend Leah and I both started this one. And I have a happy mail, and I will show you, speaking of Leah. But she started this one also. I think she started hers on 32 count. But because I want mine in that frame calendar, it's got to stick 40. And that's what I've got so far. It's so fun starting with somebody. She's working top down, and for some reason I started bottom up, which I'm not usually a bottom up girl. I'm a top down girl too, but that's what I wanted to do. Looking good. I love these Prairie Schoolers, just love them. And my Prairie Schooler, this is a bigger bag, Dog Mom. And it's just got some doggies on the back on skateboards and scooters. Just as cute. So that's what all my Prairie Schoolers hang out in. And then like a little cross-stitch red cross. All right, so that is all that I worked on. Now, plans for this next month. November, I have, I think, 2 starts. Was it 2? Yeah, for sure 2 starts that I wanted to start. One I don't own. It's going to be a birthday start with my friend Leah. Her birthday is the end of November, and we are going to start Jack's Bash. So I'm super excited for that. I do not have the chart yet or the fabric. I haven't decided, but I know I'll get that ordered in the next couple weeks. So that's one start. And I thought I had another one. Probably the next one else I want to start is by Shakespeare's Peddler, Most Wonderful. I wanted to get this one started to have for Christmas. So that one's going to be getting started pretty soon. I wanted to finish Thankful and maybe November. For sure, I wanted to finish Thankful. Oh, and I have this little other fall pumpkin and squirrel one that I wanted to get done. Those couple littles I wanted to get done before I start this. But that's on the docket to finish or to start. And haul that I bought, I just got a couple little things. Because I'm starting Most Wonderful, these buttons, I need those. I mean, I didn't need them. I wanted them because I need them. So I had off of Kitten Stitcher, she has them. So I ordered the little buttons. I wouldn't even consider them buttons. They're more like a charm, because a button to me has like holes, but yeah, they're just adhered on like over this cross. She has them stitched on. So I've got the little charmy button pack for Most Wonderful to start. And then I actually picked up the called for Lady Dot creates the chenille for it. And this one is in vintage. And it's so pretty. It's like got tan and cream, and it's all overdyed to look different. So that's going to be beautiful. I haven't decided what fabric I want to start it on because there's white on there. You know, we got the little snowman and stuff. To me, I want a little darker fabric because I love seeing the white pop off on darker fabric. It calls for wabi sabi linen, or natural tea bag wabi sabi, and maybe it is a darker linen and it's just showing up lighter here. I don't know, but I haven't decided. I have some to pick from that I don't think I need to buy anything, and it calls for 40 count. So yeah, that's usually what I work on anyhow, to make this pillow work for those little buttons. All right, so I've got that, and then I also picked up some Lady Dots Creates for chenille jack to finish any of the fall / Halloween things I have. Like, okay, I'll pick up some chenille. I could even, you know, do it with the kitty cat when I finish that pillow, or any other fall thing that I might finish up. So I bought that along. And then this was one of their $5 charts that they have. She has so many good sales sometimes. Like, always has stuff in her $5 page. And this is from the Scarlet House, and it's called Ghosts and Goblins. And I just think it's so cute. Love that little pumpkin with his chevron and striped shirt. The ghost, super cute. So that had to come too. And so that's all I bought. And then Leah. So this is what I love about Flosstube and this community, is making new friends. And she reached out to me, and we had just sparked this friendship, like boom. And she wanted to send me a bunch of stuff that she had stitched and wanted to move on to some new hands to stitch too. So I got a box of so many goodies from her, like unbelievable. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Maybe in the next couple videos, I might be able to go through them all because we'd be here for a while. But I'll just start with a few things. So this book from Veronique Anger, I don't know how to say her name. It's French. But I had bought the Fables and Fairy Tale, and I showed you guys a few videos ago, and she had an extra one of this Christmas one that she sent to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so love all her designs in here. The one I want to start, just a little tiny pillow, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it quickly, but it's a bunny and reindeer. Here it is. That little reindeer with the two bunnies on the sled will be the cutest little pillow. And it's great because there's so many little things that you could just pick out one little design and make a pillow, or you can put them a bunch together and make something big, like create your own little sampler from it. But that one's so cute. That's going to be a for sure Christmas start. All right, and then she sent this little heart and hand. It's called A Very Merry Christmas. That is adorable. This cute little Santa. Winston the Snowman, not Santa, Snowman from the trilogy. He's really cute. Really cute. This one from Heart and Hand. She had done this and showed me it. It was so beautiful. It's so much prettier done up. But this one is called We Want Always You. So pretty. And I think there's something on the back too. I don't know what that is, but that was really cute. And then she had done all the months of Flip It, A Year with a Charm. So January, I can just go through these really quick since we're here. I'll just do a quick flip. So there's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So super cute. You could put them all on one fabric, or just make little pillows or little flat folds or whatever. So it's adorable. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this is super cute too. Noel House. I don't even know who it's by. Let's see if I can give you a name, so if you guys liked it. This is Noel House. Oh, wait. By Chessie and Me. Chessie and Me. Chessie and Me. So Noel House. That one's just a super cute little guy. Ooh, a button and bead. Colonial Santa. And, oh, this was cute. Felice Naughty Dog by Dirty Annie's. Funny, because everybody knows somebody with a naughty dog. You might even own a naughty dog. So that one's perfect. Oh, this one's cute. Oh, hopefully I'm not showing. You guys can't really see. This one has a naughty word, but that would be perfect when I had some cows in the pasture. And fluent and foul language. Perfect for my farm. Plum Street Samplers, Raccoon Rabble. So cute. We've got raccoons. My dog, oh, him and my, he's gotten into a tussle with a few raccoons throughout the years. And man, raccoons are vicious when they're under attack. Like, unbelievable how vicious they become. I guess when your life is in hold on, you become pretty vicious. Oh, this is I want to start this one too for Christmas. It is Brenda Gervais Cup of Christmas Cheer. Look at that vintage Santa mug and a pink house. And the pink that I saw, she showed me her finish for it. So cute with the pink house. And let's see, we'll just go through a couple more. Oh, Plum Street Samplers, Winter Salt Boxes. This one I was actually thinking of starting for my little January. You know, everybody starts that January sampler and tries to finish in the month of January. Oh, Blessing Sampler. And because this one I think is little, yeah, it's just a little pin keep. So I was thinking of starting this one for my Blessing Sampler. I think that would be a good start. All right, so yeah, I'll save some for next time. Oh, one more for this time of year. Scary Mouse, Boo. I think this is Sandy Gervais too. Yep. So cute. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. So one of the viewers down in my comments had mentioned that the 250th anniversary of our nation is coming up. And I forgot the term for it, but 250 years in 2025. No, 2026. There we go. right? Math. I was thinking it was 2027, but it's because I was thinking 1776 and I was thinking sevens. I'm like, oh, 2027. I'm like, oh no, it's six. Oh yeah, so 2026. It will be 250 years. And so this is a few months in advance. I haven't even got the chart or anything, but I want to start the big honkin', oh, I forgot the name. I'll put it right here. I want to start this chart in January and have so my friend Leah wants to start it, and then I think the commenter down in my thing was thinking of starting it. So for sure I have a couple people on board to start this start, and I was gonna like section it out to be able to finish it in a year and a half. And so I haven't even got the chart, but I'm going to sit down and try to section out doable chunks for the next year and a half and be done by July of 2026. So the chart's here. I forgot the name of it, but I know maybe you guys even have it in your whips. It's been sitting around. You haven't worked on it for a while. You guys can pull it out and stitch along with us. And if you want to start it to have something to commemorate the 250 year, you could start another one. But if you've been eyeballing this one and think it's gorgeous and wanted to do it, I would love for you guys to start along with me. I'll probably, so it'll be a January 1st start along with my other sampler, and probably just get a few things in on it on the 1st, but and then work on it, and then I'll have monthly because I try to come on here every 2 weeks, and I will have kind of a homework if you want homework. Some people like having homework and a goal, some people don't. So, I mean, if you start it and you stick along with it for a while and then you fall off the wagon, that's just the way it goes sometimes. So I'm not going to be a teacher like, where's your homework, young lady? Like, not that way. But if you've been wanting to start it, I would love for you guys to start it with us in January. And I will give more information as the time gets closer. But I wanted to just throw that out there because, boy, November, December, with all the holidays, it just like flies by. And next thing you know, it's January 1st. So I don't know if anyone else has started I haven't heard any other YouTubers talking about starting that one, but that is my plan for now. And boy, I wish I would have remembered the name of it, but there it is. And yeah, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. I had worked on a little crochet, but I want to keep these under an hour, so I will fill it in next time if I have more. But thank you so much. Happy stitching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.